We haven't discussed West Ham, their predicament right now. Aston Villa look pretty safe. They're in 11th place. Unai Emery's come in and really turned that ship around. They're on 35 points. This is where it gets interesting, from 12th to 20th. As it stands right now, because Wolves are playing, so on the board they technically have 1 point, they're on 28. And bottom place Southampton have 22. So it's 6 points right now. This is... I mean, we're talking about things being tight in the race for Europe, in the top half. It is going to go down to the wire at the bottom. I mean, West Ham's result today keeps them out of the drop zone, but only by goal difference, Martin. How much trouble are they in?
You know, you look at Southampton, I mean, just look at the last 4 games. They've won 2 of those, drawn 1 and lost 1. And they're the bottom team. Bournemouth, I mean, look, they nearly beat Arsenal last weekend and they beat Liverpool at home. Why you've got teams around you in the bottom, that you shouldn't be behaving like this. Usually when you hit that bottom 3, it really hits. West Ham were in the bottom 3 yesterday. Suddenly they've scrambled out. And you've got to get points every week, because never before have we seen it quite like this. I think it's going to be a massive dogfight all the way up to Palace in 12, who've not had a win, have they, since the World Cup. So although they've chipped away and got points, it's really difficult to tell. Everton, fantastic win for them also yesterday. Do you know what? I mean, a few weeks ago, I was thinking it was going to be Forest, Bournemouth, Southampton. Now I'm not so sure. If you can beat Liverpool at home and you're Bournemouth, why can't you get out of trouble? It's really quite remarkable. I wouldn't want to be a betting man because I'd lose some money. It's a really tough call, but it tells us how tricky and how difficult this Premier League's right now, because there's no gimmies anywhere, and they're all beating good teams. Southampton beating Chelsea at home. How does that happen? But I think it can only happen in the Premier League.
Yeah, and Gary, your thoughts about this, because I just have to say there's a narrative for every single side. Palace haven't had a shot on target in the last 3 games now, I believe, in the Premier League. Forest can't seem to win away from home. That was evidence yesterday. Everton, they can be hot and cold. Leicester seemed to sway from a crisis to good form back to crisis, and so forth.
Well, it's 3 from 9, isn't it, to go down? And who those 3 are, it's anybody's guess. I think for me, what will keep a team in the Premier League is their ability to score goals. Because it's so tight down there, a win makes such a big difference. So I'm looking at the teams that have a goal scorer, which tends to suggest that Everton, who have clambered away a little bit, are going to really struggle because they don't particularly have a goal scorer unless Calvert-Lewin comes back. It seems to me that Forest can score goals. Palace certainly can't at the moment. West Ham have been really limited. I know teams down there are struggling to score goals generally, but I think...
Go on. Just what's caught my eye. So Leicester have lost the last 4.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, if you suddenly arrive in the bottom 3, like almost for the first time in the season, I think they might have been down there early on. Is that enough to wipe you out a little bit? Because it's new territory, isn't it? I mean, a lot of those teams have been in around the bottom 3, and you come to sort of learn to live and know how to live in that environment. But for them, for Leicester, it's kind of like, you think they found a way out, and all of a sudden they've lost 4 on the bounce.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? And I guess one of the biggest examples, because they've been fantastic over the last 2 seasons, would be West Ham right down there, because for 2 seasons they haven't been involved in that. They've actually been qualifying to play in European football and still are in Europe this year. I think we just have to say we love the Premier League, Martin.
Yeah, I mean, do you know what? I couldn't understand why West Ham picked a really strong team on Thursday night in Europe. And I think it was Moyes saying to his team, do you know what? You were so poor in the previous game against Brighton. Get out there and show me. And if you become too emotional, you don't make the right decisions. That ultimately the most important thing is they stay in the Premier League. And they scrambled a result today when that should have been 3 points for West Ham on another day.